All right, so here we are back at it. Part 2 of the Learn Intermediate OOP by building a platformer game, right? So now we're on to step 24. So when a player jumps up, we will need to add the logic for adjusting its velocity. We're going to use the addition assignment operator to add the velocity's y coordinate to the player's y position, okay? We're not going to forget to include the this keyword for the velocity and position. Okay. So we will do that. We're going to use the addition assignment operator to add the velocity's y coordinate to the player's y position. Okay, so it's going to be just like this one. We'll just take it from 37 to the end of 36, drop it off. We'll highlight 38 in the end of 37, drop it off like this, and just change the x's to the y's. All right, let's see if that works. Check it looks good and submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 25. So right now, when the player jumps up, it's possible for it to move past the height of the canvas. Okay. We'll take your word for it. So to fix that, we're going to need to add a condition to stop the player from falling past the height of the canvas. We're going to create an empty if statement that checks if the sum of the player's y's position, height, and y velocity is less than or equal to the height of the canvas. So it's going to be an empty if statement to start off with. All right. So we're going to say if y position, height, and velocity is less than or equal to the height of the canvas. So this dot position dot y is less than or equal to the height of the canvas. Canvas dot height. This dot height. This dot height. Let's try that. This dot height. And so we're going to have to probably do 3 of these. Let's take all this and the and change position up twice. So we'll drop it off here and here. And we'll change this second position to height. H-I-G-H-T. And this third position will change to velocity. Velocity. Let's see if this works. Check it. Oh, let's take these last ands off. And let's check it. Still no good. Oh, don't forget the curly braces. Now let's check it. Okay. So our condition for the if statement should check if the sum of the players is less than or equal to that. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these height less than or equal to this dot heights with the ands. Let's get rid of this 2 of them. This one and this one. Then let's add pluses. And a plus between that one and a plus between this one. All right, so this dot position y, this dot height y, and this dot velocity y is less than height. Come on now. Sum of the player's y position. Is that not it? All right. Height and velocity. And y velocity is less than or equal to the height of the canvas. Height? No. This dot height, let's just say this dot height dot y. It's not this dot height dot y. No, that wouldn't make sense because it. Oh, this dot height. That doesn't make sense. Sum of the player's y position, that's what this is. Height, I thought that's what this is. And then the velocity is less than this dot height. Less than or equal to this dot height. Should we wrap this in parentheses? Check it. No. What do you want? Create. I guess it's just this dot height. That doesn't make sense because it's never going to be. How could that make sense? That doesn't make sense either. All right. CTX dot height. That doesn't make sense either. We're cheating. I don't care. I don't know what you want. Honestly, I don't have any idea what they want. All right. This position Y, this dot height, and this dot velocity Y. What did we have? This dot Y, this dot... Okay. And this dot height. What's different? This dot position Y is because I have these parentheses. Okay. This dot position Y. Get out of here. This dot position dot Y. This dot position dot Y plus this dot height plus this dot height plus this dot velocity Y. Hey, what's going on, Kim? What are you doing, man? You gonna spam hello? Hey, thank you. Thank you, Tatiana. What is this? Canvas dot height. Oh, come on now. Okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. Canvas dot height. Okay, check it. There we go. So canvas dot height is the height of the canvas. That had me confused. Boom, just like that. And now we're on to step 26. Let's get rid of this one. All right. So in the if statement, we're going to add another if statement. But in the if statement, we're going to add another if statement and check if the player's Y position is less than 0. All right. So we'll do another if right here. If what are you, a wild man there, Kim? What is this? All right. All right, cool. So we're going to have in the if statement, we're going to add another if statement to check if the player's Y position is less than 0. So we're going to say this dot position dot Y is less than 0. So let's just take this, copy it, less than 0. And then we'll have the curly braces. Check the code. Come on now. Oh, too many parentheses. Check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 27. So inside the inner if statement, we're going to assign 0 to the player's Y position. Okay, so this dot position dot Y equals 0. Let's get this. V, control V, actually I'll back it up one. Control V equals 0, like that. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. Hey, what's going on, Curtis? Just a little bit of coding over here, a little bit of intermediate OOP by building a platformer game. All right, so here we go on step 28. So below the this dot position dot Y equals 0, we're going to assign gravity to the velocity's Y position. Okay. What? Velocity. Oh, this dot velocity dot Y. All right. So let's bring this down. We'll say this dot velocity dot Y equals gravity, like that. And let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 29. Give me a second. I'm going to drink some coffee. Ugh, so gross, but it does the job. Ugh. All right, so we're now on to step 29. So below our inner if statement, we're going to use the addition assignment operator to add gravity to the y velocity. Below the inner if statement, below this, we use addition assignment operator to add gravity to the y velocity, okay? So we'll do this. We'll say this dot velocity dot y equals gravity. Didn't we just do that? So if this dot position dot y is less than 0, we're going to make the position. I don't know what's going on here, honestly. What is this? What is this? So check the code. What? Okay, we should use the addition assignment to add gravity. All right, below our inner if statement, we're going to use the addition assignment operator to add gravity to velocity. All right, so we'll just say plus equals. You're welcome, Tatiana. I'm glad it helped out. Curtis, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to go over to, let me show you. To go over to, when you're going to JavaScript, first learn this in the legacy JavaScript algorithms and data structures certification, because this is more school-like in its approach. You can see, like, we can also subtract one number from another, blah, blah, blah. I think the school way is better to learn the first part and then come back and do the beta course, the beta curriculum. That's how I feel. All right, so on this one, we were going to do this dot velocity dot y plus equals the gravity. All right, so let's check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 30. So now we're going to add an else clause that assigns 0 to this dot velocity dot y. Else, this dot velocity, let's just grab this. Else we'll grab this on 43 and then drop it off on 47, and we'll change this gravity to 0 like that. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 31. So the final condition we need to add inside the player class is to ensure, okay, hold on. Let's go back over here. So if this dot position dot y plus this dot height plus this dot velocity dot y is less than or equal to canvas height, we're going to say if this dot position, what do we got here? You're welcome. And yeah, the that thing I said just now, the legacy one, that's the best. That's the way I did it. That's all I can say. But good luck on that. So over here, if this dot position dot y plus this dot height plus this dot velocity dot y is less than or equal to canvas dot height. So if this is less than, if this stuff is less than the canvas dot height, and if this dot position dot y is less than 0, why would it be less than 0? Why would the position be less than 0? If it is less than 0, I don't know why it would be less than 0. But this dot position dot y equals 0, and this dot velocity dot y equals gravity. Why would it be less than 0? What? All right. They don't tell us why. They don't tell us why. No pun intended. All right. Anyway, let's just keep moving on. I'll figure this stuff out later. Maybe. Okay, so if this is the case, we're going to do this. And if that's not the case, if it is higher than this, then this dot velocity dot y plus equals gravity. I don't know. I don't know why they're not using the and. I think this, I don't know why this position is 0, like the highest height. No, that doesn't make sense either. You know what? I think it's time to ask the expert. So give me just a second. Actually, I gotta upload the current image, and then I'll go ask the expert. Let me grab this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna go ask the expert. Okay, I got the expert up. Here we go. Let's get rid of this. Oh, well, you saw what I did. Anyway, whatever. So we got the expert over here, ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT what's going on here. Let's do a Control A, Control C, drop this off. Let's say, what line is that? Line 39. What's the if statement from line 39 doing? No, excuse me. Explain the if statement. Explain the if statement from line 39. Boom. Let's see what they got. Let's see what ChatGPT says. All right. So the if statement we're referring to is this. You're right. This if statement is part of the update method in the player class. Let's break down what it does. First, the first if condition. This checks if the player's bottom edge, the current y position plus the player's height plus the y velocity, is less than or equal to the height of the canvas. This ensures that the player is not falling below the bottom edge of the canvas. Okay. Okay. So nested if condition. This checks if the player's top edge, the current y position, okay, is above the top edge of the canvas, i.e. if the player is trying to move above the canvas, okay? If true, it sets the player's y position to 0 at the top edge of the canvas. Okay, so 0 is the top edge of the canvas and resets the y velocity to the gravity value. And this prevents the player from moving off the top of the canvas, okay? Gravity effect. This line adds the gravity value to the player's y velocity, simulating the effect of gravity pulling the player downwards. Okay, I got that. And then this else condition. If the player's bottom edge is not less than or equal to the canvas height, meaning the player has hit the ground, this condition executes. Okay? So it sets the player's y velocity to 0, stopping the player from falling further. So in summary, this if statement ensures that the player is affected by gravity, but it prevents the player from falling off the bottom or moving off the top of the canvas. If the player hits the ground, their velocity is set to 0 to stop further downward movement. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what's going on. All right. So now we're on to step 31. So the final condition we need to add inside the player. Whoa, crap. You guys weren't able to read this with me. Ah, man. I'm new to live streaming. Sorry. That sucks. Oh. Imagine this stuff is on the screen when I'm reading it. That sucks. Whatever. Okay, let's go on. Step 31. I'm new. I'm sorry. The final condition you need to add inside the player class is to ensure that the player stays within the boundaries of the canvas screen and doesn't move too far to the left, too far off to the left. The final condition, let me read this again. The final condition we need to add inside the player class is to ensure that the player stays within the boundaries. Oh, I lost I lost viewers for that. Well, I'm new. That the player stays within the boundaries of the canvas screen and doesn't move too far off to the left. We're going to create an if statement to check if the player's X position is less than the width. Okay. So we'll do if, and we'll say this, this dot position dot X is less than, that's not less than width. All right. And so let's check it. No. Player's X position. Is that not how we do that? X dot position. This dot position dot X. What? Is that not it? This dot width? Canvas dot width? Less than the width. Canvas dot width? Let's try that. Nope. That's not how we do it anyway. Nope. This dot width? Okay, there we go. So if this dot position dot X is less than this dot width. So what's this dot width? I forgot. Okay, that's the proportion size thing. Canvas dot width. This dot width. Okay. Okay. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 32. So inside the if statement, we're going to assign the width to the player's X position. All right. So we'll say this dot width equals this dot position dot X. Check it? No. Our if statement should contain an assignment of the width to the player's X position. Okay, no. Our if statement should contain an assignment of the width. Inside the if statement, assign the width to the player's X position. X position equals width equals this dot width. Check it. Okay, looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 33. Oh, coffee sure is bitter, isn't it? All right, so for the last condition, we're going to need to check if the player's X position has exceeded the right edge of the canvas. If it has, we're going to need to set the player's X position to the maximum value so the player does not accidentally go off the screen to the right. Inside our update method, we're going to create an if statement that checks if this dot position dot X is greater than or equal to canvas dot width minus 2 times this dot width. Okay. So we'll do that. We'll do if, and we'll say this dot position dot X is greater than or equal to canvas dot width minus 2 times this dot width. Why are we multiplying this dot width times 2? For the last condition, we will need to check if the player's X position has exceeded the right edge of the canvas. If it has, we will need to set the player's X position to the maximum value so the player does not accidentally go off the screen to the right. Okay, let's ask the expert. According to line 53, inside the if statement, y is this dot width multiplied by 2. This dot width multiplied by 2. Yes, we are referring to that. All right. So this if statement checks whether the player's position on the x-axis, the horizontal position, is greater than or equal to the canvas width minus twice the player's width. So let's break down the components of this condition, okay? So this dot position dot x is the current x coordinate of the, yes, okay, we know that. Canvas dot width is the width of the canvas. Yes, also. 2 times this dot width, this is twice the width of the player. Yes, we know that too. The reason behind 2 times this dot width, multiplying the player's width by 2 serves the purpose of creating a buffer zone on the right edge of the canvas. Okay, makes sense. Specifically, it's preventing the player from moving off the right edge by checking if the player's x position is greater than or equal to the canvas width minus twice the player's width. The condition ensures that the player doesn't move too far to the right and potentially, disappear off screen. Creating a visual margin. The buffer zone, or twice the player's width, allows for a visual margin that can be useful for gameplay mechanics, aesthetics, or collision detection with other elements on the canvas. So here's an example scenario, which, ooh, there's a lot more going on. We'll go over this, why not? So here's the example scenario. I'm using ChatGPT 4.0. So just to let you know, it's the new one. If the canvas width is 800 pixels and the player's width is 40 pixels, the condition would be, 800 minus 2 times 40. So equivalent to this dot position. Okay, I think we can imagine what's going on. All right, so here we go. So I think we did this right. Let's check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 34. So inside our if statement, we're going to assign canvas.width minus 2 times this dot width to the this dot position dot x. And this will ensure that the player's x position will never exceed the right edge of the canvas. Gotcha. All right. So we'll say this dot position dot x. This, this, is that good? This dot position dot x equals canvas dot width. How about that? Minus 2 times this dot width, like that. Yeah, okay, there we go. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 35. So the next step is to use the new keyword to create a new instance of the player object and assign it to a new const variable called player. Okay, the next step is to use the new keyword to create a new instance of the player object. New player and assign it to a const. Okay. Const player equals new player. Okay, there we go. Check the code. No, come on. You should use the new keyword to, is this not what we just did? Do we need to go like this? Yes. Okay, so make sure there's a set of parentheses when we're making a new player class or constructor or something like that. When we're constructing a new player and calling it player. All right, so looks good and submit it. There we go. So now we're on to step 36. So now it's time to see our new player drawn on the screen. Okay. We're going to start by creating an arrow function called start game. So we'll say const start game equals nothing. And then we'll have the arrow and the empty curly braces. All right. Let's check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 37. So inside our start game function, we're going to need to display the canvas element and hide the start screen container. Inside our start game function, we're going to need to display the canvas element and hide the start screen container. All right, hide this. Okay, so we're going to use canvas.style.display to change the display value to block. And then below that, we'll use start screen.style.display to change the display value to none. Okay, so we're going to do a switch. We're going to say canvas.style.display equals block, showing it. And then we're going to do start screen.style.display equals none, effectively hiding it. So it's going to hide this screen, and it's going to bring the canvas, the thing where the game is, up. All right. And we're going to have to probably assign this to a this button dot set add event listener. Right. So let's check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now on to step 38. Pardon me. So to visualize the player on the screen, we're going to need to draw it on the canvas. Inside the start game function, we're going to call the draw method of our player object. All right. So we're going to call this draw method of this player object that we made using this constructor. All right. So yeah, let's do that. We'll say player dot draw like that and cap that off with a semicolon. Let's check the code. Looks good and submit it. All right, now on to step 39. So now it's time to add the functionality for the start game button. We're going to add an event listener to the start button and pass in a click event and reference the start game function. Okay. And then we'll click on the start game function. We should see a light blue square on the screen, which represents the main player. Gotcha. All right. So we will do start btn dot add event listener. We're going to give it the click event, and then we're going to reference start game right here. So we'll just put that right there, and let's start the game. And look at there, look at that. All right, so we're in business right now. We're gonna have to move this to the middle of the screen or something. I don't know what we're gonna do next. All right, Curtis, thank you, and you enjoy the rest of your day as well. All right, good work. Yeah, definitely, and good luck with that stuff. All right, we'll see you next time. All right, so here we are with this. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 40. Oh my goodness. So now that we can see the player on the screen, it's time to start adding the functionality for moving the player across the screen. So we're going to create a new empty arrow function called animate. All right, so we'll say const animate. We'll do equals nothing. Well, that's not equals nothing. And then we'll do an arrow, and we'll have an empty object like that. All right, so let's check it. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 41. Pardon me. So the request animation frame web API takes in a callback and is used to update the animation on the screen. Let's go look that up. Where are we? Not here. Right here. How about that? Let's see. All right, so we got this. So the window.requestAnimationFrame method tells the browser we wish to perform an animation. It requests the browser to call a user-supplied callback function before the next repaint. Okay. The frequency of calls to the callback function will generally match the display refresh rate, whatever that means. The most common refresh rate is 60 hertz, 60 cycles or frames per second. Okay, that's what we usually use. Through 75 hertz, 120 hertz, and 144 hertz. Though these are also widely used. That's fast, 144. Anyway, I guess actually they're all fast. So request animation frame calls are paused in most browsers when running in background tabs or hidden iframes in order to improve performance and battery life. Makes sense. Okay. Okay, well, they're going to go over this rest of this stuff. So let's do this. So the animate function will be responsible for updating the player's position and continually drawing it on the canvas. Okay. So inside the animate function, we're going to call the request animation frame API and pass animate as the argument. Okay. So we'll say request animation frame, and we'll do animate. Is this like recursion? Okay. I guess it is like recursion, huh? It's just going to keep doing it to itself over and over and over again, I guess. Okay, and submit it. So now we're on to step 42. So as the player moves through the game, we're going to need to clear the canvas before rendering the next frame of the animation, okay? So we can use the clear_rect web API to accomplish this. It takes in an X, Y, width, and height arguments, okay? So below our request animation frame, we're going to call the clear_rect method on the CTX variable and pass in 00 canvas width, canvas height as the argument. Clear_rect. Let's go look that up. Clear_rect. There it is. So the canvas rendering context 2d.clear_rect method of the canvas 2D API erases the pixels in a rectangular area. Okay. By setting them to transparent black. Okay. So here's a note. We're going to be aware that clear_rect may cause unintended side effects if we're not using paths properly. We're probably, okay, I don't know how to use them properly, so okay. We're going to make sure to call begin path before starting to draw new items after calling clear_rect. All right. Okay. So yeah, X, Y, width, and height are the arguments, like it says right here. So let's do that. We're going to say CTX dot clear_rect, and then we're going to say 0, 0 for the X and Y. Then for the width, we're going to do canvas dot width, and then for the height, we're going to do canvas dot height. So canvas dot height. I could have just typed that out. Dot height right there. Let's cap that off with a semicolon, check the code, looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 43. We got 4 left. And then we'll take a break, and then it's a lot more after that. So the next step is to update the player's position as it moves throughout the game. Below our ctx.clear_rect, we're going to call the update method on the player. Okay, so we'll do player.update. So player.this update right here. Okay, we'll do that. So player.update. All right. Okay. Yeah. Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 44. So to manage the player's movement in the game, we're going to need to monitor when the left and right arrow keys are pressed. We'll create a new const variable called keys and assign it an empty object. Okay, so we'll say const keys equals an empty object like that. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right. So now we're on to step 45. So inside the keys object, we're going to add a new key called write key and assign it an object with the key value pair of pressed false. Okay. What? Add a new key called write key. Okay. And then below the write key object, we'll do left key and do it pressed false. Okay. All right, let's do that. Assign it an object. Okay. So yeah, we're going to make write key. And it's going to have an object inside of that. And we'll say inside of this object, pressed false, like that. And let's bring this over like that. I don't like that, but that's as good as we can get it. And then let's put a comma after this one. And then let's do this. And then we'll change this to left key. Whatever. I don't like the way that looks, but I think that's they'll probably show us what it looks supposed to look like on the next one. All right, so there we got that. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I guess this is the way it's supposed to look. Okay. Anyway, so now we're on to 46. So the next step is to add the logic for increasing or decreasing a player's velocity based on if they move to the left or right of the screen. Inside the animate function, we're going to create an if statement where the condition checks if the right key was pressed and the player's X position is less than proportional size at 400. We need to use the proportional size function here to make sure the player's X position is always proportional to the screen size. Okay. Inside the animate function, that's where we are. We're going to create an if statement. So an if statement here. If. And we're going to check if the right key was pressed. So right key dot pressed. Was that what it was? Yeah, right key dot pressed. So if it's true, it's if so this is going to be true. If true, if not, it's going to be false. And what else do we want? And the player's position. So and the player's position. So how do we do position again? This dot position dot x. Yes. So this dot position dot x. We'll grab this. Is less than proportional size at 400. Proportional size. Let's grab this. Actually, let's grab this since it's got 40 in it. No, we got this one right here that's got 400. So let's grab this. This dot position dot x is less than proportional size 400. And then let's have this thing right here. And that should be what they're looking for. No. We should have an if statement that checks if the right key was pressed and the player's X position is. Remember that this keyword should not be used here because that's only for player class and not the player object. So position.x. X. Just regular X. No. Remember that this keyword should not be used. Okay, we didn't do that. Player.x? Player, whoa, player.x? Player.position.x? That's not player. Player. Nope. All right, I give up. Let's go cheat. I don't care. Where are we? Right here. 47. What did you want? Player.position.x. Keys.rightKey.press. What a joke I am for not knowing that. Of course, keys.rightKeys. And then this player.position.x. .position.x. Pardon me. Keys.rightKey. Keys.rightKey.pressed. Check it. Come on now. Isn't that exactly what I just did? Keys.rightKey.pressed and player.position.x. Keys. Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. So that's the end of this second part. Ended on a cheating, but whatever. How long have I been programming? Since, when was that? December of 2021. Yeah, that's when I started doing this. And then in 2022, I started making these videos. In March of 2022, I started making videos. So yeah, there's that. That's the end of step 46. And that's the end of part 2. Thank you guys for watching live. And we're going to go on to the next one probably in an hour or two, probably like 3:30, let's say 4 o'clock Central American time. And there we go. And we'll see you next time.